Welcome to the 707, a weekly half-hour program produced by KRCB, a service of NorCal Public Media. The 707 features voices and stories from your community, stories about self-expression, and stories that show how we are connected to each other. I'm your host, Michelle Marques. A zine is a self-published booklet or magazine, usually made with a DIY ethos, and it can be about anything.
I haven't traded any zines. We've been so busy, but there's some really incredible ones that I've seen. I was over at the Andrade High Ethnic Studies table, chatting with them a little bit, and one of the students made People You See in Sebastopol zine, which I want to see. I want to look. I want to spend more time with. But yeah, I'm excited. I haven't traded any. I only have a few to trade, but I'm excited to kind of finish making my rounds.
That's Melissa Andrade, who is one of the founding members of the Santa Rosa Zine Collective. I'm talking with Melissa under a white tent next to the Northwest Santa Rosa Library, the site of the annual Santa Rosa Zine Fair. It's a gorgeous spring day, and there are about 80 exhibitors trading and selling their zines that cover every topic you could imagine, including the people you see in Sebastopol. Here's Annalee High teacher Rachel Ambrose.
For the ethnic studies students, the topic is identity and belonging. And so all of the zines somehow relate to that theme, and it's a great way for them to engage in self-expression and kind of teach others about themselves and share a little piece of themselves, maybe be a little bit vulnerable. So this one right here is a student who, this is the way she put it, I had a zine phase, Miss Ambrose. She was not kidding. So this one is just tremendous. And she said that this is going to be the first of many versions. She's going to do one each year from now on for this festival. So I'm super excited because she's only in 9th grade. So this will be something she does all through high school and maybe into college and beyond.
It's a charming, hand-drawn zine, and of course, it has the people you'd expect to come across in our favorite West County hub. This hilarious booklet is just one of the many zines being shared.
I have seen such a huge, beautiful range of zines. I've seen like diaristic personal zines. I've seen collaborative zines, some with just like incredibly beautiful, vibrant drawings. I saw someone who made like zines and journals using photography, some of which was printed as like cyanotype, paintings over cyanotypes, amazing political expression.
Chelsea Kurnick is another one of the founding members of the Santa Rosa Zine Collective. As I wander from booth to booth, I see what Chelsea means. If you're interested in something, there's probably a zine about it.
My name is Inez. I usually do sewing and other fiber arts, like crochet. And I made these zines to try and teach other people how to do the same stuff. I think it's like really good for the environment, and it's better for battling consumerism, you know? And so, yeah, I just wanted to spread the wonders of crafting.
My name is Anna Lark, or the Bean Baguette. I love to draw a lot of rats. I raised rats for about 4 years, and now I'm volunteering doing some social media art for Ratty Rats, which is a Bay Area rescue. And I just love them so much. I say it being a rat ambassador to do all the fun little rat things. I don't have rats anymore, but it's kind of how I keep them alive is through them. And I like critters and all that kind of stuff too. So there's all sorts of little things. Yeah.
Tell me about the zines that you made for today.
Oh, sure. This cool things about rats, I just finished this morning because, of course, the best inspiration happens last minute with no time for any second takes. And that one's sort of self-explanatory. I have OCs Are Great, which is about kind of growing up and having original characters and making up those stories. And then I have Baby's First Zine, which was the very first zine I made at the Sonoma County Zine Club. And it's talking about learning how to make them and fold them and just how it was an emotional experience.
Zines can literally be about anything. So how did the Santa Rosa Zine Fest come about? Melissa Andrade and Chelsea Kurnick joined me in the KRCB studios a few weeks ago to tell their story and share details on this year's event.
We do a few lead-up events to our big Zine Fair. We call everything that we do through that whole week or weekend the Zine Fest. And I'll turn it over to Melissa to describe our big event, our big Saturday.
Thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, so Saturday is the culmination of our Zine Fest. It's our big in-person fair. It's what we imagined a Zine Fest to look like originally. And it is a gathering of creative folks, people making zines, whether it's for the first time or, they do it regularly and have zines through published, sources, and they all table outside at the parking lot of the Northwest Library. It is a free event for both the artists and the participants, so it's free to table. People just apply a few months in advance, and we have to kind of curate that list because now we've reached capacity for how many people we can table versus how many people apply, which was really exciting. I think that first year we had maybe 45 people apply, and so, yeah.
We've grown, Our first in-person year was 2022, and we had about 20 exhibitors.
This year, there'll be about 100 exhibitors sharing their zines next to the Northwest Santa Rosa Library, says Kurnick.
One of the things that makes us really love that space is that it is outdoors. There's a lot of foot traffic, so every year people just heading by, walking down the street near Coddingtown, see this beautiful, colorful, very populated parking lot and wonder what's going on and discover us that way. We really, really love kind of just the organic nature of how people find us. I think another thing that's really great about the space is we love other Zine Fests. I've been to SF Zine Fest a number of times. I have friends who are involved in it. It's really amazing. And it's also incredibly overwhelming. I've been to other things. I'm thinking of the art book fair in Los Angeles. Those things have like 200 to 400 exhibitors. And like you can't take it all in a day or in a few hours or even in 2 days. And we hear from a lot of the artists who have done bigger Zine Fests and then who also do ours that we hear a lot of enthusiasm about our growth, but we also hear a lot of enthusiasm about kind of the size and scale of our fest. So there is a little bit of a tension that we always feel around. We don't want to grow for the sake of growth. We want to grow because we want it to be as inclusive as possible and really celebrate as many, especially local artists and creators, as possible. But I think there is something to be said for keeping things really cozy and keeping things kind of at a scale that you can actually, in the 5 hours that our Zine Fest will be this year, see and interact with nearly everybody.
While the event culminates on Saturday, May 2nd at the Northwest Santa Rosa Library, Kurnick says there are a series of events leading up to it, starting on Thursday, April 30th at the Museum of Sonoma County.
Gabe Moline, who is the senior arts editor at KQED, is curating his first exhibit, and it is called Disturbing the Peace, an early history of Sonoma County's underground punk scenes. That exhibit is naturally going to have so many zines in the collection because zines are such a big part of punk culture. He's been making zines since he was a teenager, and he's been collecting zines that other people create. So our zine collective partnered with him and the museum, and we're opening this year's fest on April 30th, Thursday, with a panel. We open with an event called Typewriters and Tacos. It will be moderated by Carrie Escovedo, who is also someone who grew up in Sonoma County and is in punk bands and very much a part of the scene. And the panelists will be Gabe Moline, who is a Gen Xer, and his exhibit mostly spans like 1975 to 1999. So he'll be able to speak about his own work, but also about kind of the scope of work that's in the exhibit. And then we have a millennial zine maker named Mary Frances Roll. And Mary actually got really inspired by Santa Rosa's punk scene when she was a young adult and teenager. And she went to school in Santa Cruz and then ended up getting a grant and making a really beautiful art book that she only made 30 copies of that documents like a particular period, I think of the early 2010s in Santa Rosa's punk history, the scene that she was a part of. And then our third panelist is a Gen Z person named Bowen Knife, and Bo, for short, is a part of Crow Feet Collective. He's a zine maker and part of punk bands himself, and Crow Feet Collective puts on local punk shows and promotes stuff in the area, in the art scene. And after we got connected to Bo, we were thrilled to learn that Crow Feet Collective was actually started by folks who had tabled at Zine Fest with us a couple of years ago when they were high schoolers. They had a zine project called Luminescent Squid. So the first half will be this panel that Carrie's moderating with 3 generations of punk zine makers in Sonoma County. And then Sarah Bennett, who is a zine maker and a friend of mine, who also teaches journalism at Santa Ana College down in Southern California. And she's going to be facilitating a workshop. Gabe's bringing typewriters, and the museum has a photocopier, and we'll have press-on letters. And there will be a chance to make your own, like, old school punk fanzine. And we are also super, super thrilled that David Ortega David, whose family owns Taqueria Mila, will be vending food. David has a catering business called Tacos El Gran Mac. And so even our food at the event ties perfectly into our local DIY music scene. So we're super thrilled that David's going to be with us. And our Friday event is going to be at Taqueria Mila, so it's a nice kind of segue.
In the next segment of the 707, we'll find out how a taqueria is intrinsically tied to zine culture. This is KRCB.
KRCB is Sonoma County's NPR station. Wondering what makes us stand out? It's simple, our unwavering commitment to this community. Morning Music, hosted by Brian Griffith, sets the perfect tone for your day.
Brian here with you on Sonoma County's NPR station.
As the sun climbs high, join Doug Jane for Midday Music.
Doug Jane with you. Thanks for tuning in.
It's the soundtrack of Sonoma County. Then, stay informed with All Things Considered, featuring insightful reporting from the KRCB newsroom, ensuring you're always in the loop.
For Manzana, the company that helped keep Sebastopol's famous Gravenstein apple alive, their 103rd year in business will be their last.
Your home for the best in local news and music. Because when the community sings, we're here to listen. Your radio, your stories, your station. KRCB 104.9, Sonoma County's NPR station.
Welcome back to the 707 on KRCB. I'm your host, Michelle Marques. The second night of Santa Rosa Zine Fest, Friday, May 1st, is happening at a taqueria on Santa Rosa Avenue. But this is not your everyday taqueria. Here's Chelsea Kurnick.
Every year we have a zine social, and Saturday goes by very quickly, especially if you're exhibiting. We hear from our exhibitors every year that often they don't have time. If they don't bring a friend to help table with them, they often stay in their seat the whole time and don't get to explore and meet other zine makers. So we launched the Zine Social in our second year of our in-person fest, and really just as kind of a loose place for people to hang out and socialize and share their zines. And I think the first year that we did it, there wasn't much structure to it, but we figured out that a lot of people really like structure to their social experiences. That's an important way to break the ice and get to know other people. So for folks who just want to hang out and socialize and order food, they can do that. And for folks who really like an activity as a way to meet other people and a way to create something, we offer activities. Last year, and I'll be doing this again this year, we had kind of a speed friending style activity that was built on making zines together. So we made a lot of collaborative zines where I gave people prompts and everybody sat across from one another at a table, did part of a zine page, and then swapped. And at the end, all was revealed. Do you want to talk about why Taqueria Mila is our venue this year and why that felt important to us?
Yeah, thanks, Chelsea. So we are always trying to be responsive to the community, and we are trying to create more bicultural events. And so we've been trying to partner with different local businesses for our Zine Social. We've partnered with Brew. Last year we were at Strange Constellation, which unfortunately is no longer there. And so we've been really trying to find another local spot that felt right for our mission to create more bicultural events. And so we we're really excited to partner with the folks at Taqueria Mila because it ties in perfectly with the punk exhibit, and also just to bring in that that aspect of like being more responsive.
So for those who don't know, can you tell me what happens at Taqueria Mila? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So at Taqueria Mila, outside of their taqueria hours, they host underground shows. So it's different punk shows and other genres of music that happen after hours.
It's an eclectic space for music, and the crowd is just really welcoming and young and diverse and so like alive and excited to be there in a really special way. And everything kind of spills out into the parking lot with tables and chairs. There won't be a loud band playing that night, but we're super excited to kind of bring a different energy to the space and celebrate it for its relationship to the punk and DIY scenes of the area.
The big Zine Fair, adjacent to the Northwest Santa Rosa Library, is on Saturday, May 2nd from noon to 5 p.m., including 3 workshops.
The first one will be hosted by us, Santa Rosa Zine Collective, specifically me and Amanda Ayala, who is a new member of our collective. And we will be talking about, who Santa Rosa Zine Collective is, an intro to zines, and then we're going to talk about language liberation, which is a topic that Amanda is really passionate about.
So Rachel Ambrose is a teacher at Annalee High School, and for the second year, we're partnering with Rachel's students to present a workshop that will be about identity and belonging.
Some of them can be more diary-like, some just opinion-based, so just like more of your personal experience in zine form.
Yeah, usually a written sort of personal memoir-esque nonfiction zine, diaristic in nature. And what's really exciting is that Rachel is passionate about zines and always has zine curriculum in her classes, but it happens like after people apply, after we're scheduling our programming. So Rachel says yes to this, and then the students learn what zines are often for the first time in the spring and are like brand new zine enthusiasts, and the folks who are excited, it's a self-selecting group, the folks who are excited about that come and get to design the workshop and present to the public at our fest. And this year, it's not just Rachel's classes. It's a few. There's like art classes at Annalee, and another high school in that district is also, there's a few different classes doing zine curriculum. So there will also be like an exhibitor area where as many as like 120 different students' work may be on display. I think Rachel said 120 different students in the district will be making zines as part of their like school experience this year. Not all of them will make it to our fest, but we're super thrilled to have, as an all ages event that like started as kind of something that would appeal to teenagers. We have stuff for kids, stuff for adults, stuff for everyone in between, but we're always thrilled when young people in the area are in a position to like teach their knowledge.
The third workshop is presented by an exhibitor named Inez.
They did some really incredible DIY zines around fixing your clothing and like how to...
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, it had like sewing and things like that, and tips or how to put a button on. I mean, it was really wonderful.
Yeah. And so when we were thinking of workshops, we reached out to them because we're like, we've never done anything like this before, and this is a really incredible offering. And so they came back with wanting to, focus on incorporating zines with DIY projects.
In addition to all the exhibitors with their zines and the workshops, you can also get art silk screened at the Santa Rosa Zine Fair. Just bring your own t-shirt or tote bag. This activation is put on by Print Organized Protest, Ash Hay, and SRJC students. The events during the 3-day Santa Rosa Zine Fest are free, and that's possible due to the partnership with Sonoma County Libraries. Andrade says the event is a lot of work, backed by a desire to share the spirit of Sonoma County's creative community.
Santa Rosa Zine Fest started as a dream. I was working at the comic shop, Comics for the Win, which sadly no longer exists, but I feel like it is in the spirit of what we do. And I wanted to bring local artists together. I wanted to make a Zine Fest because there's nothing around except for in the Bay Area. And I said, I know that there's really incredible artists here. So I told everybody who would listen that I wanted to create a fest, but you can't do it with one person. And eventually I talked to enough people, and Chelsea and Mare were, who are part of the collective now, were some of the folks who came back to me and was like, hey, this is a really great idea, let's do it. And we realized that we needed to create a body separate of the library with this collaborative. We're like, okay, so who are we? We are the group of people who are organizing Santa Rosa Zine Fest, and hopefully one day more events.
If you're listening to this and you haven't even made a zine yet, you can make a zine. Make some copies of it, bring it, and a lot of people are into trading zines. So even if they have a price tag, they might be willing to receive your zine and give you something in exchange. That's a big part of zine culture.
Santa Rosa Zine Fest is April 30th through May 2nd. Learn more online at santarosazinefest.com. I'm your host and producer of this program, Michelle Marques. This show is a service of NorCal Public Media. Our president and CEO is Darren Lachelle.